Hi everybody, this is Lynn in Athens, Greece, and I'm here today to talk to you about health insurance and what you can expect. So I moved from San Francisco, California to Athens, Greece 8 years ago. And when I first moved to Greece, I really wasn't sure what to expect as it relates to health insurance and health coverage. So at the beginning, because I wasn't very confident, I maintained an international plan that would have allowed me to go back to the United States for treatment if anything serious had happened. But I was living in Greece, and so during that time I started going to Greek doctors for all of my routine needs. And what I quickly learned is that you can get really good medical care right here in Greece. There was no need to go back to the United States. I didn't have a hard time finding doctors that spoke fluent English. I didn't have a hard time finding modern medical care facilities. Everything kind of worked. And so after a few years, I decided to end my international plan and switch over to private health insurance, which is what I have here. So that's how it worked for me, but how might it work for you? If you move to Greece, there are two basic options. There's public healthcare and private healthcare, and there's paying out of pocket or there's having health insurance. So those are kind of the things that you're working with. If you're willing to pay out of pocket, you will have access to both public health care and private health care. And usually public health care is going to be less expensive but with a longer wait time. If you want public health insurance, you may be eligible for that if you're paying into the system. So public health insurance is subsidized by the government. And in order to qualify, you usually need to be paying into the system either by having a Greek employer, or there are a few different ways that you can qualify. You can talk to a broker and see if that's possible. If you don't qualify for public health insurance and you don't want to pay out of pocket or you don't want to go to public health care, you can instead take the private insurance route. And that's what I ended up doing. So if you go with private health insurance, what that's going to give you access to is more modern facilities, shorter wait times, and there's a concept that I'll talk about later called the fakielaki, which is sometimes an additional payment that is required by a doctor or asked for by a doctor. If you're in the private health insurance networks, it's much less likely that that's going to come up as an issue. So those are some of the reasons that you might want to consider private health insurance. In private health insurance, you'll have lots of options. So work with a broker. There are different deductibles. There are different percentages that are covered. There are different medical networks. There are lots and lots of choices. You can probably find something that works for your needs. So that's kind of the overview. I'm now going to walk you through what my private healthcare facility looks like, and then also bring you to the front of a public healthcare facility. So here you can see my private healthcare facility, and this is where I go for all of my routine stuff. It's quite modern. The doctor speaks fluent English. I email with lots of my questions. So they're very current, they're very modern. And here now I'm going to show you this is what the front of a public hospital in Athens looks like. So I'm not going to go inside, but you can see it's a little bit more dated. The facility is older. It's not going to have that fresh, modern feeling, but it's still going to give you good medical care. Hi everybody. So we're here in Athens, and behind me is one of the public hospitals in Athens. So we're talking about healthcare and what your healthcare options will be. If you are in Greece and you have an emergency, you have some sort of an accident, anybody can get free healthcare. So for emergencies, you would go to a public hospital, regardless of your residency, regardless of your citizenship, and you will get free healthcare. So this is one of the places, for example, that you might go. There's something worth mentioning that you may run into here in Greece, and it is this custom called the fakelo or the fakielaki, which means envelope or little envelope. And what it essentially is an additional payment that a doctor may ask for. So if, for example, you're from the United States, the whole thing is very confusing because it's kind of someplace between a bribe and a thank you gesture. It's informal, but it is sometimes required. I'm not going to weigh in on the legality of it, if it's allowed, if it's not allowed. It is part of the culture. Particularly, you might run into it in a public hospital environment. If you are asked for an additional payment, what I recommend is talk to your Greek friends and have them help you navigate the issue. It's something that a lot of us, if you're American, you're just not going to be used to this concept. In my 8 years, I've never had it come up for me personally, but I do know it exists, and I have heard lots of my friends talk about it. So just keep that one in mind as well. And then just a final note to talk beyond the health insurance issue is just your overall health. So one of the things that I was pleasantly surprised to observe is that my own health actually improved with a move to Greece. The Mediterranean diet's really healthy, so you're eating a lot of unprocessed food that's drenched in olive oil. For me, the pace of life has been slower, so I've been less stressed out. And Greece is a very social country, so there's kind of a feeling of wellness because you're talking to people more, you know your neighbors. And I just observed that my health actually improved. So I'm not sure what would happen for you, but keep that in mind. It may be that apart from the insurance issues, your overall health improves as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to message me directly, and thank you very much for watching. If you like this content, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see all of our new videos as we release them. Thanks for watching.